almost 7, but it is still dark as hell. Like, I don't get, like, I thought the daylight savings time was supposed to be so it was lighter in the morning, but it stays lighter longer. I just stayed up until it was 9 o'clock. It was so unusual for her, so I stayed up till 9. And then I was just like conked out. And I think I got woke up. I think I got woke up once, but it was like went back to sleep real quick. But then the fucking ocean sounds went off. And then I was just like wide awake. I was like, oh, this is some bullshit. I've so many nights. The internet keeps going off. My heater thing, I've been using it because I haven't been making fires all the time, just sometimes. And that thing, it is either they're messing with it or something, because it will just turn to cool, and it will be in the settings. I've gone in and looked. It changes settings by itself. It turns itself off. So that's got to be some kind of bullshit interference thing. And that's probably why they wanted them in everybody's houses, so they could fucking control them. And then that's why they want these goddamn smart meters and stuff. Because don't forget, I got that going too. I've got the tariff that I'm supposed to deal with because I won't use their smart meter thing. So like everything where I'm at is pushing me. But it is like, I feel like a room is closing in on me because I don't know where I'm supposed to go. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, I'll just like be in the toothpaste that squeezed out the last bit, just end up at my mom's or whatever. But it seems like that something's going to open up. And so that is where it's just like, that's where I get frustrated with the universe. That's where I get frustrated with, like, fuck, what am I not getting? What? And then when you start getting real emotional, you cannot hear. You cannot stay, it's not good in communication. You just got to write out your emotions. And I kind of feel like some of this stuff is happening because I'm supposed to talk about it. So that's what I'm going to do. Is it just is like there's a lot. And so I don't even know if I can keep it all straight. But anyway, so I'm going to talk about different stuff, like a bunch of stuff about it. So for one thing, I definitely feel like there is a fucking huge energy in the cities. It is, it's toxic, man. I'm telling you, the whole drive, it felt like, I swear to God, I felt like angel wings. I was just like, oh, it was just like so smooth. And then I started noticing on my thing, I started being like, I got 23 miles. And it's saying it's going to take me over an hour to get 23 miles. It's like, okay, what's up? Like, what's going on? And as soon as I started acknowledging that, then all of a sudden it popped on and it said, you could save 10, because my time kept going up too. You can save 10 minutes if we're going to reroute you and take you on the 405. They took me all the way from the 5 down the 405 to the 90 back into Seattle. And that was faster than sitting in the traffic. It was whacked. And so I went way out, all the way fucking around. And so I came in a different way probably than what they were expecting anyways. Maybe they were more used to people coming. Like, I don't know. I don't know. And I don't know why the navigation was so jacked. I don't know. It was like so chaotic. So chaotic. So many people. So much stuff going on. And so many people, like, it's weird. Like, I don't understand why people have a problem with landmarks or something. And, like, you don't know how to tell people to get in your own building. Like, you cannot say, okay, go down another block, go to the front, you'll find a front door, come in through the lobby, go up. No, I'm on the back side of this place, walking way down, and it's just all this gates and fencing, and you can't get in anywhere. And then it's like this fucking Swedish cancer center that is fucking huge. How do they make so much money? Like, what a good fucking investment is that? Make money off of people being sick. It's like, ooh, I see I've got some processing to do. I am still, and I know that's a part of why this is going on, because I've got a lot of fucking anger about it. And, you start feeling good and you don't think that you've got all this anger still in there, but then something pushes the button and it's like, God damn it, what the fuck? Oh, God. And then your life's like, oh, God. Like, there's like the whole gambit of emotions. You know, and I think probably is similar, what I'm going through is like these people who do these big weight losses. Like they do this huge weight loss and then all of a sudden they've got all this skin. And they're like, oh my God, it was like, carry this around with me. Thanks, reminder for, you know, I'm trying to do better. So that is kind of like, you know, I've gotten in such better shape. Like when all this started, you know, I got the brain injury, gained 45 pounds, went into this fucking hormone problem, went into brain injury problem, went into fucking cord issues, divorces, like it was just losing houses, like it was just a fucking tornado going. And I couldn't even process all the stuff going on. And I kept getting sicker and sicker and sicker. It was one fucking thing after another. And it just kept like fucking whipping me around for fucking years. And then, you know, you finally get to where you're like, oh, man. And I think this is kind of where a lot of people are, because I can't believe how many people are like, man, I've been on this healing journey for a year. So fucking much. It's like, dude, fuck, man. A year? Buckle up. You better fucking get some gear. You better pack a lunch. Like, what the fuck? God damn, a year. I wish. Fuck, I'd be fucking riding fucking high by now if it fucking took a year. So you go through a part where it's just like, fuck yeah, man, I'm fucking feeling good. Like, I can fucking say whatever you want. Doesn't bother me. You do you, I don't care. And you just get real like, you know, light and just like, fuck, I don't care. Whatever, I don't care. And you just, but then, you know, I mean, it does build up like the tension of the split realities and the tension of the controlling forces that hold a grip over our fucking reality, you know, trying to keep us sick, repressed, poor, sad. And that's another thing you got to fight through too. I'm not letting them fucking get to me. But I'm purging out my anger. Like I can't pretend like I don't have it. I can't pretend like I'm not mad. You know, like, oh no, just focus on the love. No, I'm not holding that shit in. I know that's why this is happening, to get it out. So I'm not gonna pretend like, you know, nothing's happening to hold it in. Fuck that. Get the fuck out, because I'm fucking pissed. And I need it out of me. And so it's like these waves, man. You just go through these different parts and you just don't know how deep you carry wounds and how much you hold on to anger at yourself and stuff. And, you know, I'm sure there's so many people who've lost a couple 100 pounds and then they're just like, you know, angry at themselves that they did that to themselves. And that's how I feel, you know. I'm sure there's lots of people cutting all sorts of parts off of them, injecting all sorts of bullshit into them, and they're getting the repercussions. And yeah, the other side of the coin sucks ass, man. It's like, fuck. Fuck. And then you gotta be like, well, why didn't you think about it a little earlier? Why didn't you think about that part sooner? Well, I was really caught up in my insecurities. I was real caught up in what she said, he said, that guy said, you know. And then what's even crazier is once you think, okay, well, I'm going to please all them. That's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to look good too. And then you're going to go out, and then you're going to have all these other people. Why the fuck did you do that to yourself? What in the hell plastic bullshit are you doing to your... And then you get this whole other wave of like, you know, like you're a total plastic idiot. And why would you be so insecure and all this stuff? And nobody knows. None of those people know. You know, they don't know whatever I was dealing with at the time. You know, I was insecure as fuck. I was coming out of a second bad relationship. And that one was hard, man. It was like, I mean, no shame on anybody's game. But that's what it is, you know. It's a fucking game, and there's some fucking master players. There's some people good at manipulation. And there's a lot of stuff like, you know, we're all playing different games, and we all got different things to see about ourselves. But anyways, but we allow ourselves to be treated the way we allow ourselves to be treated. And so I, leaving that relationship though, and at that time I had a couple of kids at an older age. And so I was having more problems losing that weight. And then I was going to the gym. And so then I got back, I lost weight again, was feeling good. And then single, and now I'm a nurse and, what was I think I was early 40s. Yeah, I was early 40s when, yeah. It's weird when you start thinking of time. It's like, well, how did that number amount? Wait, how did that? So maybe I was mid 40s. I don't know, but I was rocking it. I was like all into this single, but I was not happy at all with my boobs. I mean, I felt like I was pretty happy, but it was like, I swear to God, there was always fucking girls that were always telling me, like, oh my God, how do you live with such a horrible body all the time? How do you live? It's just like, I don't know. It's like that. I think sometimes they would try and point out things to make me feel insecure, because sometimes I think people thought I was like cocky or something because I am confident, but not about that. Not about how I look. I was very, very self-conscious, very insecure. You just don't even know what it was like being raised with a mom who's like going in, measuring her waist. If your hands don't meet in the middle around your waist, you're way too fat. It's like, fuck, dude. Like, fuck. And then when you're bigger than other girls, like, it's a whole fucking thing. Like, all our insecurities come from somewhere. We're not fucking crazy. We all fucking have things that built us into who we are. And those are the things that we have to go back and replay and go back through. And, there's things like, replaying, like even the forgiveness of like, I wish my mom and my aunts would have been more secure, so I would have been more secure. I wish they wouldn't have got implants, so I wouldn't have thought that was a good solution. And so there's just a lot of different things, that you got to play through in the healing process, and letting go. And it gets easier and easier once you know how to let go of shit and forgiveness and stuff. Like, I'm not holding on to like those damn ants, if they would have just been better, I wouldn't have been where I'm at. No, I completely get how it all works, and everybody's fucking insecure. But yeah, it's part of the process to be like, but also the process is where we learn and where we grow. So you can't sit there and be too mad that it has to occur, because otherwise you just stay like fucking dirt and never have a flower grow out of it. So anyways, there's all that processing to go through and to accept your choices, accept yourself and the predicament you've got yourself into. And then I think so many people, not just me, like I could just keep staying back and being like, fuck it, I'll just wait for the med beds. But obviously this push, like this, seeing these videos, and there's like been a push, like I'm not just, they've definitely brought me information. They've pushed me in a direction. That's why I'm like, why have you forsaken me? Where it's like, am I not getting what you're saying? Like, what is it? And then that's when they come in with their wisdom and tell you what's really going on. Like, I was like, oh my God, I just want these out. When are we doing this? When is this going to happen? Like, how many lessons is there until this goes? It's like, ugh, dude. And it's just like, if you have the desire, it's going to be there. Don't fret your little head about it. You'll get what you want, sister. So just relax. It's coming. But you got lessons to go to get there. And then it's like, so, and all this stuff does bring up frustration and bring up pinned up anger, old resentment, sadness, old insecurities, and the process of being mad at yourself for the stupid shit you've done. And this is just something like I've done to my body. Like, everybody's got stupid shit they've done. There's people who have done stupid shit, to other people. And there's all sorts of stupid shittery that's been happening, It's part of our soul journey, or part of our what's going on in our soul plane to bring shit up, just like what this is. That's why I'm talking about it. Is so that it is more understood about the process of how to do it and what it is you're doing and how it kind of works or something. And so, when when I have to go in, and I can't sit there and just be like, oh, well, they said that and they're just mean, so they're just bad people. No, it was my own insecurities that got me to where I'm at. And so it was my own feelings of unworthiness. Like, why would I think that my boobs made a difference? Like, why? Because I felt embarrassed. I felt insecure. I never felt like I was feminine enough because my body was never a curvy, girly body like that. Yeah, I can look good in clothes because I look like a fucking mannequin. I have no, like I'm just a stick person. And yeah, and I would just as soon get back to that. I'm sick of fucking wearing clothes that I have to put on to fit my fucking boobs, don't fit the rest of my body. And that is like when you're going through this healing journey and you do all this work on yourself, you're taking care of yourself. Like, I've come a long ways from where I was when I first got sick. Like, I've definitely lost, see, I just got weighed. So yeah, I always, my most weight I've gained is 45 pounds, thank God. Because, like, fuck, some of these people have, and it's very variable. Like, you could gain 20 pounds and stretch your skin out a lot, like, and have loose skin. And I think there's ways that you can keep pulling your skin back in. Like, the elasticity also is something with copper. Like, that also builds collagen, and it also builds your elasticity and stuff. So there's ways that you can build this stuff back. But, it takes focus, effort, putting direction. And so so on mine, I had gained 45 pounds. And then, it was like kind of slowly, I think over time, because I think I still probably will lose probably 5 more pounds even. Because, then you start thinking about, well, my weight. Like, do I really want to weigh what I used to weigh when I was taller? So now that I'm an inch and a half shorter. So I was like, I guess I got to lose a couple more pounds. No wonder I was thinking like, this felt like I don't know. I don't care what people fucking think, if it's toxic or whatever. But I like to feel my bones more than I like to feel the cushiony stuff. Like, I don't like to feel super soft. I like to feel more bony. I was a bony kid, and it feels more comfortable to me. And when I have a bunch of weight on, it feels uncomfortable, and I don't like it. And then people say mean stuff to you about that, like, because obviously you've got anorexia, obviously you're eating disorder, obviously you've got issue. Like, we just can't ever fucking just be ourselves. No, there's always a fucking jury. How do we all weigh in on what this person's doing? Let's all talk about it. Let's all talk about it. Let's all judge them. Line up. It's like, fuck, man. What a fucking bullshit with this society that we do this shit. So, and the more that, we all have to notice it so we can stop. So when we stop, that makes other people uncomfortable. So then they stop. So then we all stop. So we all stop doing nonsense and bullshit to each other. Start being supportive and caring for each other. So in the thing too, when you're getting yourself and you're feeling better and you're feeling healthy, and then, and then you have to step back into this medical process thing. And it's super frustrating because it is just like putting up hurdles, putting up obstacles. It's like, yeah. And then always ka-chinging you the whole fucking way. And all these doctors that are so, like, even with that doctor, he sat there looking at this implant that is going, like, he agreed. Yeah, it's definitely migraine. It's definitely like, I'm sure he wants me to just come in with 20,000 and say, here, doctor, make me into, they're all fucking Dr. Frankenstein. Here, I'm yours. I mean, this doctor that I had who did it. You go to sleep saying you want to be, and you come out with a double D, and it's like, well, it looked better. We liked it. We all thought it looked better. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, thanks, Dr. Frankenstein. Glad that I can make you happy. So, but, you know, I allowed that. I put myself through it. And now I got to clean up my old message, you know? And then, but I think that there's part of this medical disaster we have going on and the collapsing of this whole fucking system, that all of us different people who are going to it to suckle off the teeth and ask for help, that it is just, it's making it just more and more frustrating, more and more hard to just keep pushing us out the door, pushing us out the door. And I just, yeah, you know, the more I get pushed out the door, the more I keep thinking, okay, the med beds have got to be like, they got to be coming soon. They got to be coming soon. I just saw a woman talking about Wells Fargo took $30,000 out of her account, and then they said, we don't know where it is. And she said, I'm sure it's an inside job. It's what I keep fucking saying this whole motherfucking time. It's not like inside, like one of the people who work there. No, it is like a fucking sewer system that has these different branches, and that is so fucking accurate. Micro, macro, swear to God. It is like the sewer system with these different branches, but in the system also is everything to catch, like, it's all corrupt as fuck. There's loopholes. Like, get hacked, and then you see, like, oh, so you just let them go in there. I was like, so you just access them straight? Well, you know, they can do that, you know, because it's like, oh, okay, because you've opened the door for them. We can't do fucking shit, but you guys just fucking do all the bullshit all the fucking time. So the banking stuff, you know, it's going to keep going and going. And so that's, you know, that's a part of the collapse. It's all these different things. And we all have our different things that we are working on. You know, mine has been focusing on my health and for a long time. And so, you know, and that's a part of the process. And like when it very first had started, you know, when I thought the banks were going to collapse in 2020, I thought we were going to be in med beds by 2021. Like, what the hell? They drug this shit out so much. But it's like, yeah, it's not just about you, Kelly. It's not just about what you want. It's like a whole fucking nation of fucking sleeping people are trying to be woke up here. So shut the fuck up. It's like, oh, damn. And so, you know, that's where you got to look at yourself of like your patience, your anger, your stuff you're bringing up. It's like this is a different way of looking at things when you reach these points of frustration. They're there for you. They're not there to like how it feels. It feels like it's just like, ooh, you know, like you just want to tap out. I just want out of this fucking game. Just tap me out, get me the fuck out. But, you know, like I said, that's why you can't get out. Like, we would tap out every time something got hard. And then it's always, that's where we got to push through, because there's always a gift at the end. Well, you know, when I'm still working towards the gift, and I've just got all these things, and this is where you start bringing up fear, because it's like, fuck, like, okay. I mean, some of this stuff won't even make sense, so I won't say all of it, because, you know, it's like, in my heart, I'm being directed to go in a certain direction that makes no sense. It would make no sense to anybody. And so that's where I start feeling like, okay, maybe I'm just completely lost my goddamn mind. And so there's that. So focusing my energy towards this building of myself kind of thing. And so putting my energy and time, like this kind of stuff, putting my energy and time into this, which a lot of people would be like, well, this is ridiculous. Like, it's a hobby, Mom. It's all, you know, like, why would you do that? Why didn't you get fit? Why didn't you go pack? Why didn't you get rid? Why didn't you start being, you know, go down to the courthouse? Like, do something. You know what I mean? And so that's what I'm saying is, like, I'm putting energy towards something that makes no sense to other people. And so then, and for the house thing, then I've got, you know, like, I haven't been evicted yet, which... one of these guys is still, he's sending me cards, he's texting me. I'm thinking about calling him from a different number. I don't want him to know this is my number. But I'm thinking about calling him from a different number and seeing about, like, if I can just get more information. Because if he's still trying to buy it, it must still somehow, like, I don't know. So anyways, there still seems like something. But to me, that is also a complete gamble. This is like playing with fucking card sharks, I swear to God. Because it's a complete gamble. Because, you know, if I play it right, then here in a couple weeks, this is outright my house. And I can take my time moving. I take my time finding where I'm going. Start packing my stuff up slowly. And go through the process of, you know, and that's what it feels like. Like if I were to say like what the universe is telling me is that it's telling me that, you know, just sit tight. Everything is about to collapse and you need to have this place in order to, you know, for that time period of the collapsing going on. And then that, and everything will start working out. Doors will start opening, like which direction to go, where to go, how to get there and stuff. And then on top of that, the med beds, because then it seems like the med beds will be really coming fast, because I keep thinking like, so if this is where you start going into fear. This is where you start like, oh, what if, oh my God, what would have been, oh God. And this is where you have to constantly dial back. It is all the time dialing back. Yeah, but everything is going the way it's supposed to go. I mean, however it goes, that's how it's supposed to go. And I do this all the time. Like I knew it was very likely yesterday was going to go the way it went, you know. But I wasn't going to put that energy towards that. And it kind of was even a test to see, you know, can you just make something happen just because you want it to happen? If you just keep saying the stuff and you focus on it, you like all this stuff. No, that's not how I see it. I've said the whole time, manifesting is different than what these people explain as far as what it works in my life. Like maybe it works in theirs. Maybe they're fucking the chosen. So I don't know, but it doesn't work like that for mine. In mine, everything is a set time. In mine is like you have a desire, you have a push, and it's not just this empty chase of somebody else's dreams. Like they got something good, I'm going after theirs. No, it's like opening yourself up to your own pathway and what you're good at, what you want to do, where you feel happy, what, you know, it's you and your desires, like to be healthy and to feel better, you know, to get toxic stuff out of my body and you know, to feel better in my skin, to be able to put on clothes that fit my whole body because I didn't go and distort it somehow. Just so lots of stuff. And then so then you have the those kinds of things. And then with the house, so then it's like, okay, but the house is, I mean, by everything in this system, anything could go down at any time. Like I could be evicted, like, and my daughter was trying to tell me, like, they could come in and tell you have 24 hours to get out and you're gonna have to find, and how in the world, I mean, I if I got the surgery, I wouldn't even be able to pick anything up for 6 weeks. I wouldn't even be able to pick up a box. I won't be able to move at all. I wouldn't be able to do anything. So then it's like, okay, so add that into the whole thing. Then you got added into the money thing is crashing. And so it's like a limited amount of time where anybody can even get medical stuff anyways. But if it's that short of a window of time, then I got to keep telling myself, okay, but there's going to be alternatives that will quickly come in, you know, at once their shit collapses. And going and listening and hearing what the guy said, then it's like, man, that is a lot. What they want to do is go in and, you know, cut you back open, take out the implant, do a biopsy, so dig in your tissue, you know, and everything that you are doing, you're poking and prodding and irritating my body, like everything that you're doing. And how you can't just tell these people, well, I can heal Hep C, I can heal cancer, I can heal this stuff, you know. So there's nothing to worry about. Like, we don't need to do any biopsies. It'll be fine. If I'm supposed to die of breast cancer, then I'll fucking die. If it doesn't, if whatever fucking isn't healed by the fucking plants, then I'm not supposed to be there. I'm supposed to go. So that's my attitude. But you can't tell these people that. They don't even understand that language. You're talking a foreign language to them. Besides the fact they're corporate puppets. They don't even fucking think for themselves. Like, and you can sit there and see that there's a problem with this one, and then it just is going to add in more and more money to the point, like, to not even I like, there's so much of just making a lot of money off of us instead of just doing stuff that helps us and not making a lot of money off of us. Like, just too crazy to even think about. So that part frustrates the fuck out of me. And, but then to go in and cut it and then do that, and then you have to pull the muscle back down. So you're going to have to look in there. You're going to have to be lifting back and stuff to make sure you have all the muscle and sew. Like, I know how to fucking sew. Like, you got to find the edges that match. You can't just like pull it down without looking. The other way, the kind of surgery that I had wanted was, it was, there was no digging around in there. None of that. No pulling it back, nothing. And so, see, that's why they got to have conscious sedation. And so, and even when he said, because I said I didn't want to be sedated because of a brain injury. And he was like, well, just, how in the world did sedation give you a brain injury? I said, do you want to hear the whole story? And so I didn't tell him the whole thing, but I gave him like a brief synopsis. And then he's like, oh, okay, so it wasn't sedation. And I said, yeah, but I don't want any more in there. I don't want anything else interfering with my thinking like that. And he just looks at you like, do you do drugs? Dude, they don't understand, you know? They don't understand. They're not working with us in our health. Like, maybe if you find some naturopathic doctor, then, but not these regular corporate doctors. They're just, you know, working for a paycheck and doing their job. And it's the job they're doing is what they're supposed to do. Yeah, make us run around, get lots of tests, charge us a lot of shit. And then plus the thing that's so irritating about that, like, I remember when appointments started going up. It used to be you go to the doctor like $5, $10. Then it went to like 15. And I'm talking money, cash. Insurance is what drove the prices up of everything, because it's still part of the laundry. It's part of sucking it out of us. And it's just, the whole fucking thing just pisses me the fuck off. So, yeah, it used to be, you know, you went to the doctor, it was dirt cheap. But see, then they turn around and fuck the doctors, because then they jack up their prices on insurance and stuff. So, doctors are, you know, they get a payoff. They get hush money. They get some, you know, status, ego, like a lot of stuff. They get perks for their commitment to the system. But anyways, it's all collapsing though. It's all going to go. But so when he's sitting there saying that about like, so he's got to go do all this like much more aggressive surgery. But it'll be quick. It'll be like an hour. And I said, oh, well, the other one's like 15 minutes. It's like, yeah, you know, and it's done in the office. I said that too. So you don't have to go to the surgical suite center, pay the extra charges on that shit. And then, so then he, and he said that he had to put drain tubes in. That's extra stuff too. So then you gotta have drain tubes in. So, because I keep thinking like, man, like it's hard to, this is another thing, like where you start thinking or overthinking it. Because it's like, I don't think I could find a doctor who would do it. No. I mean, I had already known, unless it was it had to be above the muscle. And I kept thinking, well, if he cut my nipple off and went in that way, surely that is but no, I guess I don't even know. Like, I guess, can you just feel people's implants through the top of their skin? Like, I have no idea. But anyways, so he did some other tests to figure out where it was, where the muscle was and whatnot. And so he said that the muscle would have to be pulled down and sewed back, because once they took the implant out, this part of the muscle would just be like, woo, and then it would just retract and it would go up into a bunch of where the muscle originates from. So if the muscle is like this muscle, and then they cut it, then it's just going to go up, and then you have this big chunk of muscle sitting there. But I kept thinking, well, if it's strapped down, like I would think my body would figure out how to heal it itself, especially when you're talking about 6 weeks. And I kept thinking, well, maybe like a week or two. 6 weeks, you're not supposed to pick anything up. And not more than 5 pounds. And you're supposed to do everything T-Rex arms. And then they can decide if you should go longer than 6 weeks. And then in there too, you got to go in and get the drain tubes out. And he was like, well, would you come back and get your drain tubes out? What? If I was to drive there and get the surgery, yes, I would drive back and get the drain tubes out. Like, I'm not going to keep them in. Like, what in the hell? It wouldn't surprise me if he came back with $10,000 just because he didn't want to do it. But that's going to be a part of, and this is another thing too, is if it was meant to be done, then the Universal would bring me the money. Like, I've had this happen so many times. When something is meant to be, the money just shows up. So when the money's not showing up and you still want it to be, this is the part where it's hard, because you want it and you see it and then you know what you want and you feel like it's going to happen, but this isn't the timing, or this isn't the situation, or whatever it is, or the money would show up. It just comes out of the blue, unexpected places or things or something. So that's where you just gotta, to me, where I've got to play this like mind game. Okay, so what am I learning here? What am I doing here? And knowing that if this is meant to be, it will be. But all of the parts of me that are coming up and the parts of me that I'm feeling are all parts that's why it's going on. So I can have this stuff come up, and so I can bring this stuff forward, and I can feel these feelings and acknowledge these things of how I look at it or whatever. And so on that one, so 6 weeks of recovery, and he said I would have to have somebody there. He's like, well, how would you, and I didn't even tell him I had a 175-pound dog. Like, so I definitely going to be walking her. And then, but he was like, you won't be able to do anything. You need to have somebody that can do everything for a while. I was like, so that's an added thing. Like, if you're single, and so don't live by your kids. Like, if I lived close to my kids would come over and help me. And I'm sure I could ask the neighbors. I was just like, but you don't, no. It's just like, I don't know. So anyways, so all of that whole thing, 6 weeks, and then all the added money, all the added trauma. And then anytime you have anesthesia or anything, like, he's going to put all this fucking fluids and anesthesia into my veins. It's not what I want to do. And so when I listen to that part of myself, it's very much like, I don't want to do that, but I want these out. So then it starts being like, you question yourself, like, well, how bad do you want them out? Well, why do you want them out that bad? You're going to go against what you really believe in, of not being injected by these drugs and stuff, and how they could affect my brain injury. How is that going to, take me back to, do more damage? Because that's all these drugs and shit do. Like, that's why people are getting Alzheimer's and fucking dementia. Young people are having dementia. It's like, this is what this shit does. And I've already got damage. Like, it's like, fuck. So, so then it's like, well, so you want to do it that bad? Like, and then it's like, well, I mean, honestly, if I had the money in the bank, I would be setting the appointment up, because I would be willing to risk so much just to move forward. And the big weight is, not knowing when the med beds are coming. And so all I keep thinking is, like, I mean, nothing goes right for that whole scenario right now. Like, is the whole thing of not knowing if I need to hurry up and move or pack. Like, there's no fucking way. If I just came home from surgery and then they came and evicted me and I had 24 hours to try and pack up and move shit. I don't even know anybody. Like, I don't even know what 24 hours. So all I keep thinking is like, I just gotta keep hoping that this is where things are turning around and going the other direction. And that the thing with the surgery was maybe, they're trying to get me to stop putting energy into that, to start noticing like that is a lot of trauma. And the med beds is zero trauma. Zero trauma. Like, I don't even know how it works because, like, we're not flesh and blood. So first you got to wrap your head around that. So we're not flesh and blood. And that's why, like, them doing all this mad scientist stuff and pretending we're flesh and blood is, like, too fucking much at this point. And so the, so we are, a vibration, we're like a light vibrating super, super fast. And the light carries its own emotion. Let's just call ourselves emotion. So our emotions are all built on everything we've experienced. So we each have a unique emotion that makes us our own unique self as a cell, a soul. And so a part of the universe, like the cell of the universe. And so you are that expression of what you've experienced. And so in that expression, the influence, sometimes I, hold on. Okay, so the expression. So however, so your light is your expression. And your expression is developed like emotions seem like the best way to interpret it. Through all your experiences throughout your soul journey of like your 62 billion years or whatever, your millennial that you've been alive. And so all of that is what is the creation of you as the conscious being, the energetic, emotional package that you are. And so then you can go into different expressions. And so you're the light behind the expression. And so you can go into different expressions, like flowers are popping up. Like you go in and be a flower, to see what does it feel like to be a flower? What does it feel like to grow? What does it feel like to be smelled? What does it feel like, and it's a short life, it's a short focus. It's not like you have to focus a long time. There's all different kinds of things. It's wherever your energy focuses itself to learn and gain its own properties. And that's why I said, like, your DNA, your structure is like this complete, like, so printed, like the most elaborate diagram of you. So, the thing where they talk so much about the DNA and stuff is parts of ourselves that we can't access. Like, all parts of you are there. That is, like, you just don't know how to access them. So that's what I think. So, because a lot of people say, well, you don't have all your DNA activated and stuff. I think it's you don't know how to access it. But that is kind of a part of the conscious awakening too, is learning how to have more access to yourself and control yourself and all that. That's the mastery of self. And so the path to enlightenment. So in that process, okay, let me think again. Because I have to see back to the, okay, so the people in their light. Oh yeah, okay. And so so once you get over the like flesh and blood thing and you get into the idea of what you really are, then that is like those, oh, I just bit my tongue. That is raising your vibration. You feel lighter. You're not as connected. You're not as driven and held back by limitations and perspective, and because there's so much limitations in the reality. And so then you are letting go of that. So you become lighter and more fulfilled and more of you. So anyways, that becomes your light being, the lighter part of yourself once you've released the darkness, because there's so much darkness down in the crevices of us. Like, fuck, I swear to God, I thought I had released so much of this stuff. I can't believe how much stuff this is bringing up of just like, ooh, but it gets easier, I'm telling you. It gets so much easier. But so like releasing and stuff is releasing the dark, which fills your body with all of the light. There's no darkness in there anymore. So it's like this letting go and going in there and digging through and finding all the darkness you can and letting go. Like that's what the universe is trying to do, is help you just dig in. It's trying to shine a light. So make sure you see all your darkness so you can let it go. And so in that process of letting go, that is like where we become like our light beings. But it really is all an illusion. There's nothing really that you have or are. It is a mere interpretation of a light, of an image. And so it's kind of like in this process is because the med beds, it has to do with vibration. That's why, like, you wouldn't be able to take like a sick, low vibration person and just put them in to a med bed to fix them. They've got to fix stuff and let go of stuff and let some dark out to have that be effective. I think we'll see, but I think the med beds are going to be way more effective to people who are more healing themselves and more focused on that. But we'll see how it goes and how things work. Like, because everybody is going through things and waking up and stuff. Like, you keep seeing more and more people like catching on and talking about things in deeper ways and stuff. So in the process of like becoming like your lighter self, then when we go in the med beds, it seems like at some point we have an understanding that we are an illusion or something. Like everything that we represent ourselves as is an illusion. And so when you go through the this awakening and moving into your lighter body, then the med beds with the vibration, it can remove all the stuff. Like it can remove everything that is plastic, metal. Like if you've got screws in your body, a hip replacement, shoulder replacement, valves, like all that stuff. Yeah, like you got heart valves, fake heart, like all these different things. It goes in, takes the man-made stuff out and fixes the thing that needed to be fixed. So the med beds, like I'm saying, it's gonna be so much different, especially when you hear him talk about like how intrusive the surgery is. He's talking about compared to going into the med beds, where you just go in there, you go to sleep, and then you just come out, and everything is done. Everything's fixed. You don't have rehab. You don't have to, not lift your arms and stuff. No, it's fucking fixed. Everything's fixed. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm probably, that's probably what is going to be. It just is like, I just feel frustrated right now because it is like, I want it now, just like everybody. It's like we all, and that's like a part of what is being purged. That's the stuff that's being purged out of us. Like, yeah, you want it now, but are you willing to risk everything, to be drugged and then, putting your body through all of the infection, and they're going to make you take antibiotics, the fluids, all that shit. So, in the fluids, that is not a fucking 100% guarantee. Like, you could still, there's people who still end up having to go to the hospital, go in an ambulance, get the paddles or whatever. Like, they're messing with shit that they shouldn't be messing with. And then they put pressure on, oh, you think that's a big deal? Well, kinda, yeah. So it is, just to a point where I really don't want them. I don't want their help. But it's like that desperate feeling, and then that's all based on fear and stuff. So that feels more of like kind of what I'm working through, and still trusting in the process of getting to the med bed situation. because that is going to be like the things that is going to heal so many things that, you know, that we can't. So many, there's gonna be so many things. Like there's so many people with like all weird diseases, anomalies, autoimmune, parts being cut off of them, like so many things. So it's just all this different stuff. So, you know, then the med beds will go in and they'll be able to make these changes, you know, fix this stuff. And, you know, or we don't have to worry about our health. Like, what a fucking way to live. Like, seriously. They got us to just focus on our health, aging, division, never feeling good about ourselves. Like, it's so fucking toxic. And any people that ever came in and tried to say anything to get people to look at things different or whatever, they're just always attacked. So it's just like, man, they had it so fucking tightly wound. So toxic. But because of their own toxicity, their own greed, that they're collapsing it themselves. They've driven the prices up. They've driven us out of being able to fucking live. And so I just heard this girl this morning too say this really good video, because she said, you know, all these people keep saying the world is ending, the world is ending. She said that it's the illusion that's ending. The illusion, what their world was an illusion, that's ending. And the world that we're going into is going to be great, because we are going to be the ones creating it. Besides, she was saying the same things as me, but I like the way that she had said that the illusion is ending. And it is. That is the thing. And there's so many people, though, the illusion is all their life. Everything is the illusion. And that's the letting go. And that's the looking at yourself. And what are you attached to? And what parts of you are attached? And why? And how do you unattach? And why are you looking at it this way? And why do you look at it that way? And what is it you want? And what are you willing to do for it? And why? You know, it's all of these, just like I've said so much, it's just all constant questioning yourself about everything. And so to me, it seems like that's what it feels like right now, that the direction is leaning me towards to trust in this process, and to realize and question myself and release the anger, the tension. Like there's a lot of questions, a lot of stuff to process, like so much through all the things that it brings up. When something happens that, you know, you don't want to happen, or, you know, would have been great if it went the way I wanted. But then, you know, it wasn't supposed to go that way for some reason. And, you know, very well could be, more than likely, probably, is because, you know, that would be 6 weeks of that, and the other is like none. So I'm just going to keep on trying to hope like the med beds are closer and closer in our future. The money thing is about to collapse. Because there will be no going and getting medical treatments. I don't know. Are we going to have doctors down out in front of hospitals with signs like, yeah, I got a garage with a hospital setup. Come on down to my house and I'll fix you up. What you got going on? like a Home Depot or something. Like, I don't know. Like, because a lot of these people, like a lot of people that you think of like having a lot of money, they've got a lot of stuff riding on that money. So a lot of people have got the same stress as a lot of people who don't have very much money. It's just, you know, micro, macro. It all depends on how you spend it and how, but those are all our lessons. Because that's one thing that I get all the time. It's not like there's a right way or a wrong way. It's just lessons. It's just you make a decision, there's an outcome, and you learn from it. You make a decision, there's an outcome, you learn from it. Just over and over and over and over. And so, yeah, I just feel like, right now it's just kind of wait and see what's going to happen over the next, I mean, there's not really anything I can do. I mean, there's nothing I can do, really. And then even when I sit there and think, well, okay, I'll just put away all my money. I won't buy any food. I won't buy this. I won't buy that. It's like, that's how I used to live. You know, like thinking I had to put this stuff away and make choices and stuff. But that's not the direction we're going in. We're going into a direction of receiving abundance, of everything going the way we want. And I think that that is also a part of the soul's kind of frustration, is because when we are in our real life, like our dead life, when we're up there in our real life, we can have everything we want in an instant. Like, you have whatever you want right there. And so then when we're in here and it's like, well, cool, why can't I just get what I want? But the reason why you can't is because there's lessons. Like, there's things to learn. Like, there's a lot associated with the things you want and why you want them and how you want them and what you'll do for them. And so there's all things to learn. But so I think that that adds to the frustration, though, is because we all know we can have whatever we want whenever we want it. But in the game, it's like, you're challenged. You're supposed to be trying to figure out, like, but why do you want that? What are you going to do with it? What do you need it for? So it's just a deeper, more complex way of, because in the heavens, we're just all a bunch of glutton. Oh, yeah, I want that. Take it. Yeah, I want that. You can have whatever the fuck you want. And I'm sure there's probably some souls that are insatiable. Just give me more, give me more, give me more. But that would just drive your, I don't know. It seems like it would drive your vibration down, but fuck, maybe that's what the heavens are all about. Just fucking take it all. I have no idea. I don't know. I just know that you can get whatever you want whenever you want it. And I know that the rules are different. And, the one thing too is, big things like that people are learning and stuff right now too is like this respecting for other animals, like respect for everything that is not human. People don't even have respect for other humans. Like, there's so much being learned. There's like, the universe is teaching so many things, giving so much opportunity to look at things and see things. And so there's a lot going on, man. And I just got a whole bunch of flashes of a bunch of different videos. But it was really weird, though, yesterday after I did my ranting and just frustrated. And, I really was just like, what the fuck? And then I get that video. I shared a link to it in the on the comments yesterday in the video. But it was like, oh my gosh, the communication is constant. But yesterday I was feeling frustrated, even with the communication. It was like, how the fuck do we even know? Like, there's interference even with our communication. So, when they're trying to lead you wrong or mislead you. And I don't know. There was a lot. There was a lot of just feeling like, can I even trust my own communication? There was a lot of just like so much intense energy. And, I'm sure that it was like on me. I'm sure I had energy just all over me. And I went into it frustrated. So I had a lot of that kind of energy that was on me. And I was like, oh, I was so frustrated. And I was just like, oh, purging it off the whole way home. I just wanted to get home into my safety zone. And it is so weird, too. Every time when I come up to my driveway and I open my gate, I swear to God, it looks different than everything else around it. It is weird. I feel like I open it and it's just like I go into magic land where it's just like this. And so, yeah, I don't want to just leave here. I especially don't want to just leave here, when we're in the middle of this fucking crisis. But then I also know that I'm going to have to leave here because everything is going to change. And, one thing, too, as I was looking at the map, because I was going down to Seattle. And so I was looking at the map on MapQuest. So I started looking more out. So over here, so when you go up California and Oregon, so remember I said the scientists are out by Oregon and they're looking at, there's these holes that have come up through the tectonic plates and they're shooting out air or something. There's activity happening that they're watching closely. And I'm sure, like, they should be saying something, but, even if they want to say something on media, like, there's other forces that control that shit. So they are watching that. So you got California and Oregon right up the coast like that. And then on California, it goes up the Andreas fault line. Then it goes way up way up here. But then it also branches out to the Cascadia, I think. So you've got all these tectonic plates, but you've got these two big fault lines that are about to have activity. And so the one so over here, so when you go up there, all along, it's right there, California, Oregon are right on the water. So when you go up to Washington and like this edge of like Vancouver, Canada, it's like a peninsula full of islands. So it has a lot of coverage to get through to Washington to keep going. So even if the ocean comes up and it travels hundreds of miles, it's got to go over all those islands to get over there. There's still going to be shit that's going to go down, like Seattle and stuff. Like, it's so fucking chaotic. Jesus Christ. I just can't even believe how people live, man. And it's like they're scurrying around. It's like they're not, I don't know. There's a lot of scurrying that will just be like, they'll scurry and then everything will end and they'll be somewhere else. So it's just like this, I don't know. There's just like so much mindlessness. And so anyways, so when the water comes across, it will have a lot further to go to get over to here. So I think over in Washington State, it seems like it would keep raising gradually, but we have the earthquake fault line thing, the Cascadia one, is like right here, and then the volcano is right here. And so there's other issues. Once stuff starts becoming really unstable, so there will be all that kind of stuff. And see, that will be like Armageddon. When that shit's going, when earthquakes are happening, and then here, it will be terrifying. These giant ass trees in an earthquake, like, fuck, dude. So I definitely feel like, yeah, it's time where I'm going to have to be going. I don't feel like that's being paranoid either. Like, there's way too many things. Like the naval, it had this map out fucking 20 years ago or something. And Edgar Casey said it. How many years ago was that? 40 years ago? And then I don't even know where the Forbes came up with their doomsday map. But it's the same fucking map. This map just keeps going around, and it's been going around for a while. So, and you think about the old maps. You look at the old maps. What did the lands look like then? They're always changing. So this is just at a time of change. It's not like, to me, it seems like silly to think like, oh no, that wouldn't happen. That just seems absurd. It's like, it's definitely going to happen. Definitely. Like, it's all overrun. It was like jam-packed houses, jam-packed shit-ass streets. Like, no, all this has to go. None of this will be there. It's all fucking going to go. And so a lot of it's going to go underwater, down into the oceans, just where a lot of other historical places are. They're all down there just waiting. And then some, I guess, will rise. There's a lot of talk that there's going to be Atlantis is going to rise throughout this whole thing. I think it could be just the people. Like, because that's where I know I was from back then. There's a lot of people. All these other people they talk about, like, there's people who talk about the Roman Empire. Like, there's all different souls here. Like I've said, this is like a big wrapping up event. It's like a big wrap party. And you got every fucking studio, every fucking movie ever made is coming in for this wrap party. So everybody has their own wrap situation that you're wrapping up all of these different soul journeys and life and experiences that you've been doing. And so this is like, there's so much to heal, so many things to process and go through. But, to me, I'm definitely in that group with the people from Atlantis. Like, I feel like that there's a bunch of us. And I'm sure that there's other ones. I'm sure there's people who are here from all different. And most of us are from several different kinds of big situations and stuff. So we've all been here, different times, doing different things. And all those, experiences and lifetimes had to be wrapped up. They aren't just singular events. They all have characters and roles that play out and lessons and stuff. So anyways, I think that there is a lot of different things and different people here playing out stuff. And, maybe it is going to be some of us are going to start like running into people who will be like, hey, I know you. I don't know where from, but I know you. And maybe our souls are going to start having memory of people that we don't think we know or something. Like, I don't know. We'll just keep seeing how it all plays out. But I know that there's going to be these huge shifts. There's going to be, there's tons of people who have already been abandoning these places just from different things like with government policies and stuff like that has pushed people. Prices have driven people. So there's a lot going on to keep pushing people into other places. And there definitely seems to be some places where a lot of people are going. Like a lot of people are going to Tennessee. I just saw another thing about it. A lot of people are going to Tennessee. And that is one of the safe zones. And so I feel like we have like a honing process. Like we know where we're supposed to be. We know where we're supposed to go, but we overthink it. We question, well, we're supposed to question everything, but this is where, it's more of just the mastery, becoming good at playing the game and whatever level you're on. So, there's a lot of different things that one way you do it, it's not good, but another way you do it is good. And you got to find what works for you and how it all works. And be willing to always look at yourself, because some things you think like, oh, this is working, but then all of a sudden it's like, oh, that just was a lesson. So, anyways, let's see if I'm about done, because it was, so the people who, their lessons, and of people coming into alignment and people finding people on their wavelength and stuff, people finding more their soul, their wavelength, their vibration, the people who vibrate at the same place as them. So it's a much more comfortable place, and it's much more like where you can talk and somebody get you. It's like you don't have to explain it and try and re-explain it or anything. Because we don't all get each other the way we think we do. There's a lot of people, like, we can be thinking somebody's saying something because it's the way we interpret it, but they're saying something different than we understand. And then we think a lot of different things, but really all it is just, it's a vibration. It's a understanding. And we have different understandings. That is where we come from. Like our philosophy, our vibration, our understanding, whatever it is, that is who we are. It's ingrained into us. It's part of our DNA structure. It's part of what makes us who we are. And so, anyways, that, is a part of, I think, of people coming together too. And so people will be gravitating towards people they vibe with, and that's where communities and stuff will build. It's not like there would be certain communities would be better than other communities, but it'd be the people who are in the communities are kind of like all on the same wavelength. So it is more of a kind of it's more in harmony. It goes together better. It goes together more efficiently. It's not people all fighting each other for what's right and what's wrong. No, it's more of a melding together. It's more of a coming together and creating kind of situation. There'll be a lot more of that, a lot less friction. We're so used to friction. We're so used to things not going right. And that was a part of my whole journey too, was that trusting and, things can go right. Things can go right. And, staying up all night fucking saying that shit. And then, when things didn't, and then it's like, why? But then there was a lot of things, and it was crazy how my emotions were overriding so much. Like, I was so hard to get myself to be emotionally able to listen. It was like I couldn't even listen to myself. It was like being in a partnership where somebody's just yelling at you. You can't even hear them anymore. Only it was me, all doing it to me. It's like, it was wild. And so anyways, but That's where you get to also witness yourself and see yourself so you can understand yourself better. And, you know, and through the whole thing, you got to just keep on remembering to love yourself, to love everyone, and have a loving day. And I'll talk to you later.